You know, they say history is written by the victors. But what if that's not the whole story? What if some empires weren't just conquered? What if they were completely erased? We're about to dive into a theory that claims exactly that. So what if the amazing buildings and technologies we attribute to our known history weren't ours to begin with? What if they were leftovers from a single, incredible global civilization that was just wiped from the books? It's a wild idea, and it is right at the heart of the theory of the Tartarian Empire.
So what exactly is the Tartarian Empire? Well, according to proponents, we're not talking about some small kingdom. We're talking about a worldwide civilization, one that was supposedly super advanced and was the true builder of some of the most stunning historical sites on the planet.
Okay, so if an empire was totally erased, where would you even begin to look for it? Well, according to this theory, you don't pick up a history book. Nope, you just look around you, at the buildings we pass every day and at maps drawn hundreds of years ago. And that's really the core idea here. The evidence, they claim, isn't locked away in some vaults. It's hidden in plain sight. It's in those grand old buildings in our cities, it's in the weird inconsistencies on old maps, and it's in all the questions our official history just can't seem to answer.
So, before it supposedly vanished, what was this Tartarian world actually like? Well, the picture that the theory paints is, well, it's pretty much a utopia.
Just try to imagine it. A single global culture. No borders, no wars, a world where clean, free energy was literally pulled from the air using this incredible tech they call anti-tech. In a world with no scarcity, you could focus on building these unbelievably beautiful structures that proponents say we just inherited.
Of course, a claim this huge is going to need some kind of proof. And followers of the theory, well, they point to all sorts of historical and architectural oddities that they believe our mainstream history just doesn't explain very well.
A huge piece of the puzzle, for them, comes from old maps. We're talking maps from before the 20th century. A lot of these maps show this massive territory called Tartary, or the Tartarian Empire, that stretches all the way across Asia, and sometimes even into North America. For proponents, this isn't just some old-timey map mistake, it's a ghost of a truth that was later covered up.
This shows you just how differently the theory reinterprets history. Let's take the gorgeous Singer Building in New York. The official story? It was a beautiful architectural landmark, torn down for a modern skyscraper. Sad, but that's progress. But in the Tartarian view, that building wasn't just an office, it was a power station, a piece of antiquated tech harvesting energy from the air. Its demolition wasn't progress, it was destroying the evidence.
And this idea extends to a whole global style of building. The theory asks, why do we find these incredibly similar, ornate, star-shaped forts on literally every continent? Why do so many old buildings have these massive doors that seem like they were built for giants? And this is a big one. Why do so many old buildings have their ground floors buried feet deep in mud? To believers, these are all the fingerprints of one single lost civilization.
And all of this leads to the biggest question of them all. I mean, if this empire was so huge, so advanced, and so global, how in the world could it have been completely and utterly forgotten? Well, the theory has an answer for that too. A massive catastrophe, followed by an even bigger cover-up.
At the center of it all is an event called the mud flood. Proponents suggest that a catastrophic, worldwide deluge of mud buried Tartarian cities, sometimes burying them several stories deep. This event didn't just wreck the old world, it gave a new power structure the perfect chance to take over and literally build a new history right on top of the old one.
So this massive cataclysm supposedly kicked off a whole chain of events to erase the past. It starts with the Tartarian Golden Age, then bam, the mud flood hits and creates chaos. After that, things like the orphan trains are supposedly used to move populations around and re-educate the survivors. Then world's fairs are put on, not to celebrate progress, but as an excuse to demolish the last bits of the old world's tech. And the final step? History is completely rewritten and Tartarians gone for good.
Now look, whether you find this whole story compelling or just way out there, the question of why it's so popular right now is just as fascinating as the theory itself. Because it's not really just about ancient history, it's about us today.
The idea of a lost golden age, a past that was more beautiful, more advanced, more harmonious, is incredibly appealing, isn't it? It offers this alternative to a present that can feel messy and disappointing. It really taps into that deep-seated feeling that maybe we're not being told the whole story. that a better world was somehow taken from us.
And in the end, theories like the Tartarian Empire are more than just a different way to look at the past. They're really a mirror reflecting our present. It really makes you wonder, doesn't it? What is it about our own time that makes the dream of a beautiful lost world so powerful?